As far-reaching as it is, I don't think we've ever expected it to go this direction.
Nope, not really.
But
So,
we, like I had any part in this. Like,
yeah, I mean, initially it was more just me goofing around with the technology I'd been developing. I mean, yeah, of course, you go on the history of the tool. It was originally designed just to mix up lines in Tamagotchi Life. And I mean, really just mix them up. It didn't change them. It was just line A to line B. And then I got this idea to inject YouTube comments, and that's what number one Beast intersection is. And of course, as we know, that was just garbage.
yeah, I mean, of course it was garbage. It was the first. It was the first episode. You're always finding your groove on the first episode.
Yeah. And that's why I was kind of rewatching it and trying to think about it. And original cast was based on Mayor Vine. It's just like Tamagotchi Life. I just cloned Vinny's characters and just wanted to see what happened. I didn't have any attachment to anybody in particular, and it's kind of the way I was transitioning back then. It's like everything I had done was through Vinesauce, so
Yeah,
obviously anything I started with would just mirror Vinesauce at first. Figured that would give me a little bit in with the audience I had at the time.
yeah, still finding the groove.
Yeah, that's what's funny about it. So I went through it, and I'm looking at all the Vinesauce memes and everything else they're saying, and it's like the only thing that's important to me is that I bought the beak, which became
Yeah,
a staple of the bird character for the rest of the series.
just well, you have to be a bird,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
It's too bad there's no way to color it like gray or anything.
Well, actually, there might be. You know, it's funny. I was actually thinking I'd like slowly turn him into at least something like Southbird, but I
Yeah,
only got so far, and then I just never did. That was only one of two that I ever streamed.
yeah,
But of course, it was so much nonsense, and there was no expectation, so it worked fine. I actually started to do another one using that same pile of garbage comments, and I just didn't think it was funny. It's like I didn't
yeah.
even touch this concept for months after that. And then I started getting interested in it again because the original video actually did pretty well. And then it was
Yeah.
like, so then I started posting stuff on Twitter that I was sort of messing with it again. And that's when Scales contacted me and offered the tool that, does the telephone translation, as I call it. And that's actually, of course, where the Beast Intersection name came from. It was just a permutation of Animal Crossing. But I liked it. It stuck. And then that kind of started my own pattern of naming my videos thesaurus names, as I call them.
Summer's names. Yeah. Part two is when things really started taking off, man.
I absolutely. Now, of course, that's where we get prototypical Bella. You know what? Wet. Come on. Now, come. Oh, come. That was special for me because I was still really nervous. I mean, I had the whole irrational fear we all have. I don't know why you hear your voice your whole life, but for some reason when
Yeah.
you record it, it's a whole different thing.
It is. It really is.
But I was just reading. I just started reading the line and I just said it. And it's like, I can't believe I just said that.
She was so happy about it too.
I know. Now, of course, that started the character. She
Yeah.
just kind of loves life.
Yeah. Loves wet. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Didn't Anka give you like a suit of armor too? I think was it protect?
Yeah, that was the name of it.
You're gonna have to wear that in bed with Bella.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
the joke. Yeah. But again, that one stuck. But it did kind of go toward the Southbird form. So
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
sort of started to do that. And then I just never finished it. Because part three was my birthday. And I was going to stream that one because I had streamed the first two.
Mhm.
And then I didn't. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to.
But
Yeah.
when you're streaming, you're putting on show for strangers as well, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I gotta try to think of an act here." But
Yeah, I think that was part of it. And I think it was also the more important fact that this was the first time I was actually trying to not just spew text. It's like I was starting to bucket things into personalities, and this was very highly
yes,
experimental. I wasn't sure if it was
hmm
going to be funny, or entertaining at all. So figured, well, I think I even thought maybe I'll just record it offline, and if it starts out good, I'll start to stream it. But I just never got back to it.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like Vinny's old like approach towards corruptions. You know, a lot of the times it's just type a number, see what happens, reset. Type a number, see what happens, reset. And a lot of the times nothing happens. You know.
That's true. And it's the truth of it is, I can record 3 or 4 hours of material sometimes for a Beast intersection, and it
Yeah.
gets edited down to like 10 to 15. And it just gives you an idea how much of it is just nonsense or it doesn't fit. Or even better, I accidentally pulled in somebody's like racist or other horrible comment that I could never use. There's a lot of editing that goes into this. And then even after that, I'll find good fragments. Someone said something that's interesting. Another person said something that's interesting, and it's like, I want to hold on to this because I'm hoping this turns into a story. And a lot of times it does. And these things, they require lots of reordering. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's not a beautiful machine, but
but it gets the job done.
Yeah,
like a filthy mop.
Something like that.
I just compared your art to a filthy mop. I'm sorry. I should be comparing my art to a filthy mop.
You create that which the filthy mop has to clean up.
Exactly. Yes.
I didn't work with Scales anymore after that. Someone asked if I did, but no, Scales was only involved with part 2. I still had the Scale script in place, and every once in a while the characters would fall back on that. I just kind of left it in there. I think Scoot's the only one that you really see it. He's just speaking broken English.
She's speaking duck.
Actually, Scoot's funny too, because he was a hangover, of course, from the Mayor Vine cast, but I actually felt bad using him. He was saying stuff like other characters, I want to fuck everybody, and it's like, this is like Vinny made him such an innocent character,
Yeah.
And I was like, I just felt bad. So he kept getting cut, and then he just left eventually on his own. It's like, oh, that's just for the best.
Yeah. Bye, Scoot. Attain your innocence further by leaving this horrid town.
And then Chief kind of moved in. What was funny about Chief, I have some videos that are like a decade old or something. And they're from playing with the original Animal Crossing. And that was a girlfriend I had at the time, and she was really into Chief. That was her thing. So Chief was featured a lot in these really early text edits. It's like, wow, I forgot about all this. And then Chief moves in to my, the Beast Intersection town. It's like, okay, well, I guess that was supposed to happen.
I honestly thought he was just going to be a fart in the wind, but he stayed around and lingered, didn't he?
I didn't have the gravelly Chief voice yet, honestly, because I didn't know who he was going to be yet. And the first thing he comes out with is the Ninja Turtle sex museum. It's like, has anyone seen that? Bella started to shift in part 4. That was like the first time I noticed she started saying things like, I love you. And
oh yeah, Bella was really turning a corner there, wasn't she?
Yeah, we couldn't keep our eyes off each other. Started saying stuff like that. And I think that's interesting because we got basically this whole town of similar characters. They all just kind of don't care.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Bella's like starting to care.
She was the odd one out from the start, it seems.
Amazing, isn't it? Bob, you should be a little more worried about this. Good, I'll see you tonight. 4,000 bells. That's a better deal than you get elsewhere. Then we go to part 5 where Bird pays Cherry for a night.
well, mister.
What I love about that is because I was kind of thinking like Bird's just this innocent victim in a sea of smut, and it's like, well, he's just as bad as the rest of them. And then there was another Chief moment. That's kind of where I started doing the voice. I just remember saying, like, hey, Shorty, you can't do that. And then he walks out the door. And then Bob says, thanks for your help. It's like, yep, I think Chief needs help.
Yeah.
Hey, Chief, you feeling all right? Shit. The fuck? Fucking amazing. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm just looking for you.
You just got to get that Dan Trailer song out of his head. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing I loved because I talked to him and he's just string of profanities. Fuck, this fire. I can't get the trailer song out of my head. Okay.
By men and fuck. Now that's stuck in my head.
He's kind of in his own world all the time, which I love. But every once in a while, he has like this wisdom. Like he knows exactly the answer to what's going on.
He has the stoner wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. So he just kind of floats back and forth between saying surreal, odd things, and then suddenly he really cares and he really wants to help. Then there was like a couple-month hiatus after that one, and I think that's because Metopia kicked in.
Metopia was just stealing the spotlight from everybody.
Yeah, so that went on for a while. So part 6, we move into Welcome Amiibo finally. It was just delayed on the upgrade, honestly, because I wasn't sure what it would do to everything. So it opens up, and as I figure must partly explain the absence, Isabel comes back with Viagra for Bird. And then, of course, she hands it to him in public, which makes Cherry very confused exactly what this all means. You got no scrote? That's what she asks. You got-
Oh God.
So apparently she doesn't understand male problems. Oh, Harvey. Harvey was an interesting thing. So I turned him into the Lovecraft spewing
Oh,
demon
Harvey.
character. And
The eyeless abomination.
yeah. It was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. And I just thought it would be funny because Harvey, of course, is the happy hippie character, just, loves nature and all that. And just thought, what's the opposite of that? And, and it made this thing. And I thought it would be more interesting than it was, but it really wasn't. It's like there's only so much I can do with this. And then
someone who appreciates life.
yeah.
A doom singing sociopath. Perfect.
So that happened. And then I thought, so first I kind of just got bored of the Lovecraft stuff because it's like I have to pretend I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I never do.
And that's no fun.
And then after that, it was like, well, I wonder if I could just like have him have a random personality every episode. That was the other idea I had. And like Bird would never notice and he would just keep changing, but I just never did it. So this was also the first Bird Bella hookup.
Oh,
actually
yeah.
happened. Immediately followed by villagers being upset, taking sides. Either they're with Bird or they find it deplorable.
They all want to fuck a powerful man.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Bird's powerful? He's some guy with the shriveled hair wandering around the beak.
Yes. It worked for Bella.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started changing textures at this point. That's how we got Chief and Bella, who kind of took on looks that more worked for them.
Yeah, looks that reflected the thumbnail.
Well, Chief was more reflecting his personality, honestly.
Yeah.
Slight pinkish tinge to the eyes and all. He's constantly under the influence of something. I'm not sure what it is.
Chief is high on life.
Yes. No! But how? Bella! Coco and Chief seem to get together at some point. Yeah, I think Chief said something like Coco boobs in under 10 minutes or something like that. Or Coco boobs in just under a minute. Peculiar.
Is that a life goal or what?
Yeah. Although I did like it. So after Bird and Bella hook up, then we get a couple instances where Anka just says things knowing that Bella is nearby.
Yeah.
I think the first thing's like, would Bella do oral or anal or something? And then I said, well, I guess she'd be up for anything. And right as Bella walks on screen.
I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
Yeah. And then
Tactless yet rude. I like that.
And then it came up later, and then there was like a town hall thing. Whatever it was. And after everyone left, then Anka's standing there and talked to her. She's like, so you gonna fuck Bella or nah? And then of course
Nah.
Bella's standing right there. It's like, I think that was just her objective, to make awkward situations.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for drawing her the way I do now.
Yeah. Maybe she's just jealous. A lot of people have been saying that, that's the whole thing. She puts on this facade because she can't express her feelings.
Oh. You always pick on the kid you like.
That's right. And it's weird. It's like, I like to think she's not really an overly angry person. She just doesn't like Bird.
She didn't get him in the sack.
I guess. Part 7, I actually fed YouTube comments off of part 6 into it.
Yeah.
So everybody reacting to it then became all the villagers reacting to it.
Oh, no.
But then the interesting thing happened where apparently, talking to Bella, you find her sitting on her couch and she says, like, people are threatening her, insulting her for what she did. And then Bird just kind of sits with her for a while. Things will work out. Yikes! I'm guessing Bella is the slut of the town. Mac, you don't even live here. Shut up. Get up. I think it's kind of a change in both of them to a certain point. You see, Bella does actually care, and maybe Bird cares a little bit too.
Wow, this whole story arc developing. Bella's got more story in this whole thing than anybody does.
Well, that's why she kind of became the star. Why did you fuck the plague rat? It's none of your business, Anka. And then, later on, Bella seems fine, so we assume that worked out.
Well, in overwhelming adversity, when you're facing it, all you can really do is kind of just brush it under the rug and try to live your life normally.
And I guess she decided that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So you gonna Bird fuck Bella or nah? She's right behind you. Yep. And then Chief makes this offhand remark about Coco not being as pure as he thought. Upon further viewing, it turns out she thinks it's hip to fuck rats or something like that. On further rewatching, Coco is very adamant that it's hip to fuck rats, so she may not be as innocent as I thought. And I always interpreted it as Coco apparently was involved with Bella at some point in the past. And I guess that just shattered Chief's expectations.
Oh.
You're embarrassing yourself. I had sex with a snowman. How did that go for you? Whitney shows up in part 8.
Whitney, I like to call Anka light.
Yeah, that's kind of what she is. It's like she loves the attention, I think. She's unabashedly what she is.
Yeah.
And not much else happened. There was the Halloween thing. That was probably my favorite thing, when I had a pumpkin on my head and Bob said I was off my gourd.
The Halloween thing was kind of just everywhere and anywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, it was
Nothing
one of those
really
things.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
No, all of this is always experimental. It's like, I just want to see what happens if I do this. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
With that mentality, we tried something in the next vid, which we'll probably get to in a sec. But
Oh, yeah. So that's Coco losing her mask.
yeah.
Which, of course, was just art you did. And I love the concept of it.
Quite a lot of people liked that concept. I'm surprised to know that people really thought it was a cute idea.
But what it revealed was a weakness in my system. It's like, if I try to force something to happen, it's just awkward.
Yeah, it actually does appear forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And it's like, well, it's because I want it to go that direction. But if I push it, then you can see I'm pushing it.
Yeah, the script kind of pushes back.
Right. So, lessons learned.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of fun.
experimentation, just like the first video. Hey.
Yep. So Sky had a minor role in part 9, and she never really had major character development, but she seemed to be fascinated with Whitney and the way she acted. And so she wanted to talk to her about oozing sexuality or something like that.
Yeah, Sky came across as like that socially awkward kind of girl.
Yeah.
And I guess Whitney's overt confidence kind of gave her interest in her.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what happened. But Whitney sort of just snubbed her and left, and didn't work out for poor Sky.
That's probably the worst outcome right there.
Yeah. Oh my god. When two animals are having sex, one of them is communicating a message to the other. Oh my god. Or you'll have fun. Sky, not like a jolly, sassy opera singer. It's not. Maybe. Oh, and she left. Well, that was cold. Oh my god. Is she hot? Not for you. And then I go to Bella's house and find Whitney there. and then Bella says something like, you know why they call me a slut? And it's like, oh, great.
It's just completely unabashed about it.
So Whitney kind of just upset the balance of the universe, which is kind of funny because we had Freya come later. Get your ass downstairs, or... Guys, wait up. Chaos Town. You must be pretty horny. Oh my god. Plus, I was definitely not my normal sexy self. Oh, well, that's okay then. So then after that, you get a rare appearance by Rossetti, who showed up for some reason, and he told me he was, like, totally got my back.
A very unexpected ally, I gotta say, on that.
Yeah.
Maybe Rossetti threatened him. I will reset this whole fucking town if you fuck with Bella one more time.
That's right. And I know on my side, I got people like Nook telling me to pick my battles. Maybe it was Lyle. One of them said it. They blend together. Lyle and Nook, they're always there. One of them told me to pick my battles and to not be that guy. I always like that line. I'm not exactly sure what they meant, but it's an interesting line. It's interesting, though, that we start getting some dialogue from Bella that actually shows regret. It's like she kind of fell back into her old lifestyle and then kind of thought this isn't the way to live. They make up or something, or accept who they are. I don't know, really, whatever that is. The strange nature of their relationship. And then part 10 was kind of like, let's do all the December stuff.
I think part 10 was a pretty fitting end to the whole thing.
Too easy. Let's get you home, Chaos Town, and Bird, you are gonna get the best sex of your life. Oh my god. I like that. I put on the Santa suit, and the first thing I do is fall in a hole. It's like, well, this is off to a great start. Yeah, so Bella likes her gift, and she says, you got 2 minutes. It's like, okay.
Joke's on you, Bella. I only need one.
Yeah. So there's the thing that comes back later. I give Bob a pear, And he just like, this is it. This is the perfect thing. Anka, she just kind of does some angry expressions because of course she does. And then she's like, I want to fuck a rat all of a sudden. Which I have no idea why she said that.
I don't know. She is a cat after all. Maybe she just wants to. Maybe she meant fuck in the general sense of I'm going to screw you over.
Perhaps that could be. And I also like Whitney because she takes the gift and she like expresses how much. It's like, are you kidding? This is terrible. But it's sweet, and then she takes it.
But yeah, I understood you put your heart into it, so thanks.
So Sky takes the gift, and then she then she says, like, "Who are you?" Which is like,
did she wake up from a coma or something? An eggnog coma?
And after everyone else is done, then Jingle gives Bird a $25 gift card for his trouble.
That he'll never use.
Yeah. And this is what I thought was funny. So Bob was given the pear, and he loved it, and it's like the next day, he hands it back to me, and he says, "We're even."
Now we're even. You gave me the same thing I gave you.
Exactly.
Maybe it was broken and he was returning it.
Either way.
Have a broken pear. I only bit off of it once.
Yeah. Moved on to Bella's birthday, who only Cherry attended.
Well, Cherry seemed to be the only one who had neutral opinions toward her.
That's true. I actually looked up what kind of gifts are good for, the characters on the wiki. And Bella just coincidentally likes wet road sign. So it's like,
what a fucking appropriate gift.
So there you go. And that was about all there was to say about Bella's birthday. I guess it was marginally better than Bird's birthday.
That's all that needs to be said. Everything fit together perfectly in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Either way. Yes, and then finally we do New Year's. Yeah, there's just everyone being kind of themselves. Hello. Yeah, got in the spirit. Hey, Anka. Keep talking now. Take one, pass it down. Way ahead of you. I think that was probably my favorite thing is that I talked to Lolly during the final countdown, and she says to unleash the hellstorm.
God, Jesus, Lolly.
So that's her sentiment for 2018. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Happy New Year! Hope this year is filled with fun and friendship for you all. Totally my words. And then I talked to Chief after the fireworks are going off, all that. God, Coco, well, I fell for the sexy clickbait and not mad at all.
Oh.
And I was never really sure how to interpret that, but when I'm looking back on it, since Coco didn't make it to Wolfburg, my assumption is they broke up somewhere.
He must have started watching Beast Intersection at episode 3.
And then it just kind of ended with Bird having his moment saying, I don't know what any of this is.
Bella, what is even happening?
And that was about it. Shut things down for a while to think about how I wanted to do Wolfburg, which is actually a wildly different model. It's based on the same idea, but I just expanded it in all directions.
Oh, Wolfburg is, that's going to be quite a journey right there.
I've learned I can take a certain amount of control as long as I don't force dialogue, is basically how it works.
Yeah, you can essentially just immigrate like canon.
Yeah.
You put Cherry and Marshall in there. That's how
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, we don't have to get into Wolfburg. I'm sure we'll have one of these for Wolfburg in the future. But
probably, yeah.
Yeah, rest assured, Wolfburg's a whole new machine, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it.
I think all of us can say the same thing there.
It's definitely renewed my own passion for the series. I just like keep wanting to do more of it.
That, and it's helped you find your own thing outside of, Vinny.
Yeah, and that's really what we could say about this series as a whole. I mean, it started as a Vine Sauce derivative, and then it was like it became my own thing.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, even Vinny gave me his blessing, because I offered it to him early on when I was first starting out, and he said, "Man, this should be your thing."
Yeah, see? That's cool.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, it's my thing.
It's always nice when your inspirations give your blessing on what inspires you.
Sure. Well, I think that about wraps up this thing.
Sure, yeah.